this is our single snowflake card. I'm going to thread my needle with the thread that comes in your kit. Just pull it about 2/3 the way in. This is the outside of the card. On the inside of the card, near the top of one of these points, I'm going to tape my thread not over the holes, but beside the holes. And I'll take my needle and I'll go through that first hole and come up on the top side of the card. I'm going to come across to this first hole on the next bar and go in. Then I will come up through the next hole right there. And then I'm going to go across to the next hole down from the first one I went into. Go in. And I'm going to continue, so I'll come up through the third hole, and I'll come across to the next hole up, staying in the same 90-degree angle section of our square. And I'm going to go across to the next hole down. Very simple, very repetitious. Just keep with the pattern we're making. You're pulling the threads snug, but not too tightly as you go. So you don't want them to hang loosely, but you don't want them to be so tight that they pucker up the card, which that almost did it. So once you get to the end, you're going to come to this one and go through this hole. And I'm ignoring that center hole for the moment. I'm going to cross over in the back. I'm just going to go to the next square over. Go through that hole and come up through the top. Now, from here, I am now in this 90-degree angle box. I'm going to come up to this top hole, and I'm going to repeat the process. So now I'm going to go down one, from that hole, next hole up in there, just keep nice and methodically. Each stitch is right next to the next, and underneath you are always going to the next hole over from where you just went in. Out to that top. Now from this top point on the back, I'm going to have to jump across a long space to come up through another hole. I can't go back through this hole because it will undo my stitch, so I need to come across to one of the other holes and come up. So now I have this section is empty, and I am going to come down to this hole. Now we're sharing threads in the holes as we go. Always ignoring that center hole. And just repeating the same pattern we've done twice before. Now we're going to do it a third time. Then we're going to come down and finishing the third section. So So now we have this last section here to do. So in back, I just came through this hole right here. I'm going to come up through that hole right there. And then I'm going to come up to the opposite arm, to that far point. To share the holes. Now that we've done the other three sections, every hole we use is going to be shared, which makes them look like they're attached to each other. Coming down. Next section. And as I've been going, every time I need a little more thread, I just pull the thread down a little bit more and make sure I've always got enough to hang on to so that it doesn't pull through my needle. But if it pulls through your needle, just rethread your needle. Our final stitch, and that is a single snowflake. On the back, I'm just going to put a small piece of tape. I'm going to first cut the end, leave a good 1/2 inch to 1 inch tail. And take a small piece of tape and tape that down. And that is a single snowflake card.